Alright, last but not least, we proceed with the discussions of Public Complaints Bureau. Okay, even though the Swedish institutions of ombudsman may be the choice of many Commonwealth countries to adopt an independent and impartial arbiter between the governments and individuals to check the public sector's maladministrations, but in Malaysia, okay, we don't have ombudsman, we have Public Complaints Bureau, PCB. Okay, and the functions is to receive complaints made from public regarding such maladministrations. Okay, against example of maladministrations by public authority or administrators are bias, okay, unfair decisions, or the hearings made not accordance with the rules of natural justice. Okay, the idea of an ombudsman system in Malaysia had been first introduced in 1967, okay, by our second Prime Minister Tun Abdul Razak. So here the history of Public Complaint Bureau. So when he invited the first ombudsman in a Commonwealth country, Sir Guy Paulus from New Zealand, to give advice and recommendations as to the establishment of such a system in Malaysia. Okay, and then by following of his report, okay, Tun Abdul Razak launched the Ombudsman System Malaysia. Okay, tapi kita tak panggil Ombudsman, we call it as Public Complaints Bureau. Okay, and it was launched on 23rd of July 1971, which has been placed under the Prime Minister departments. Okay, until today under the Social Economic Research Unit 0. Okay, so where the PCB derive its authority? Okay, so here the answer. Okay, it is purely an administrative arrangement and it has continued to perform its role effectively by drawing its authority mainly from the various Administrative Development Circulars (ADC) and Administrative Development Circular letters issued by the Chief Secretary to the Malaysian governments from time to time. So they regulate based on this circular. So there are two ADC which are enforceable for the PCB. First is ADC number 4 1992, which states the purpose of establishing PCB, that is to receive and investigate public complaints concerning their dissatisfactions on any actions or decisions by the government's administrations which are unfair, against the law, and any existing regulations including misconduct, abuse of power, maladministration, and as such. Okay, so normally the first ADC, ADC 1992, state the functions or the powers of PCB, and the number two of number two ADC known as ADC ADC in 2002, okay, entitled Improving the Effectiveness in Managing the Public Complaints, which give PCB three additional functions in managing, such as monitoring and analyzing complaints, to implement a proactive programs, and to implement a people caring program involve citizens at grassroots levels. So they will invite citizens, okay, to lodge a complaints to them. And apart from these two ADC, okay, as the source of authority, PCB is also equipped with investigation officers who are recruited from various government agencies, and their experience and familiarity with the functions of other agencies have further enhanced the operations of the PCB. Okay, so they are also work together with the various government agencies in order to make the investigations. And in terms of its jurisdictions, okay, again, its jurisdictions is to investigate complaints mentioned in ADC 1992, okay, that arise in all public sector agencies, and it can also investigate complaints against public agencies that have been privatized, such as the public utilities. But Okay, please bear in mind these are constituted as outside of jurisdictions of PCB. First, okay, PCB cannot dwell into matters regarding government policy and matters relating to the Public Accounts Committee, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commissions, MACC and Legal Aid Bureau. So they have nothing to do with these components. And civil, for example, in civil claims, family dispute and complaints against private companies are also outside of its control. Okay, so they can just investigate complaints against public agencies and public sector agencies. Okay, next, the PCB is required to report the outcomes of its investigations with recommendations to a permanent committee on public complaints. This is known as PCPC. Okay, so the PCB just now make the recommendation and then they must report, okay, to the PCPC and other relevant authorities. And then it is also to forward the decisions of the PCPC to ministries, federal and state departments, statutory boards, local authorities and agencies concerned for the purpose of corrective actions and monitor those actions. Okay, now we proceed our discussions with the next committee, okay, Permanent Committee of Public Complaints, known as PCPC. Okay, this committee is a significant body that determines the success rate of PCB's problem solving task. Why? Because PCB will report the decision to PCPC. Okay, this committee was chaired by the Chief Secretary to the government. Other members include DG, Director General of Public Service Departments, Director General of Malaysian Administrative Modernizations and Management Planning Unit, Chief Commissioner of Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC), and the Senior Deputy Secretaries General of the Prime Minister Departments. So here are the members of PCPC. Okay, so how they exercise the power. First, the PCB reports to the PCPC, which includes reports on the allegations of serious wrongdoings in the public service, and then PCPC will decide on the appropriate actions to be taken. Remember, just now the function of PCPB is to make investigation. So after investigation made by them, they will report to the PCPC and then PCPC will decide the matters. PCPC has extensive powers including the right to institute investigations and to direct officials to explain and account before the committee. PCPC can also give power to PC, okay, to have a direct access to records. This is made possible because the chairman, being the head of the Malaysian Civil Service, has wide-range powers inherent in his opinions. Okay, and then another power of PCPC is, okay, all decisions made by them must be implemented promptly by the relevant departments. So once they solve the matters, they provide solutions that departments in concerns must follow the said decisions. This is important characteristic of PCB because the traditional ombudsman has no direct power under the law to enforce recommendations. And apart from PCPC, the government also set up a PCB advisory board in April 2006, which consists of distinguished public figures with vast experience in their respective fields that facilitates the PCB in discharging their duties using the board's expertise and experience, and also to gain its support in the day-to-day tasks of the PCB. Okay, next, okay, the functions. In brief, the functions of PCPC and their responsibilities. Okay, to formulate policies on system of managing public complaints, to consider and make decisions on reports on public complaints by PCB, to direct chief or heads of authorities concerned to attend meetings of PCB to explain specific complaints, cases, to direct authorities concerned to take remedial actions of the complaints. Okay, for example, maybe some of the rights, okay, to give damages to the parties concerned, for example. And then in terms of their administrative powers, requesting and obtaining information, checking files and related documents, and seeking explanation from officers concerns. Okay, so basically, apart from addressing all the complaints made by public, okay, relating to public service, administrator, okay, and these tribunals, okay, administrative tribunals, ombudsman, and PCB also contributed to the expansions of the law. Okay, for example, new legislation was passed to deal with illegal money lending activities, and also the Housing Tribunal Act passed to prevent public from being exploited by housing developers that took advantage of the loopholes in the Housing Developers Act. Okay, so the starting point at this PCB, okay, ombudsmans, okay, and yes, okay, they have the same purpose, okay, in order to manage public complaints in the future, but okay, being the eyes and ears of public service, and efficient and responsible body will improve the government's delivery systems. Okay, so this process of non-judicial review are also important to the citizens. Okay, I hope that you all clear on this part. Okay, just as for gender reminders that this is only a theory. Okay, we don't have decided cases to be referred. Okay, so just focus on its um, term as it is. Okay, if you have any question, then please ask. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.